our first teacher speak very quickly for us. He graduated from Stanford University. He speaks over 16 languages. He's taught with us for over 25 years and is especially skilled at motivating students to improve their English and critical thinking skills. This is Mr. Steven Johnson. He's also the author of many books. And today, if you stop by at ShareWorld today, we will give you a copy of one of the books that he wrote. Just come over and you can pick it up. So he will also talk to us about the benefits of studying English and a little bit of SAT English. Let's welcome Mr. Steven Johnson.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And my part will be very direct here. And that is that even if you're going to be a high-tech person, you still need some fundamental skills. If you want to be in management, you have to be able to read and write. You need to know words. You need to know grammar. And the thing that I find, it's shocking. I have juniors, otherwise intelligent kids who don't know, in juniors in high school, who don't know a noun from a verb. This is dangerous. This is not a good thing. And this madness about making SAT optional, that will pass in a few years, and it will be back maybe in another form, but it will be back. So do not slack off. Do not think you don't have to know grammar. Don't think you don't have to know vocabulary, and don't think you don't have to know how to read. Okay. I find another thing, people, they don't know how to read. Okay. They know the words, but they don't know how to remember what they've read, and they never analyze what they've read. Very, I would say, very shallow reading of things. A big mistake to make. Everything you do, you want to do well. Boy, by the way, that kid on the guitar, he was great. Yeah. That was really good. I maintained he's going to have a gig playing guitar before he graduates from Stanford. Okay. Well, that's sort of the thing with Stanford. Nobody really graduates from there. They go there a year or two, then they drop out and do their startup. But I knew some kids who were very good at the violin. And as soon as they got into college, they put their violin away. And I don't think he's going to put his guitar away. Anyway, so the thing is, though, that these two speakers that we had here, they are extremely correct in saying you must have your thing. You have to have a thing. Now, the one kid has the guitar, the other kid has some high-tech stuff that I wasn't listening too closely there. But you have to have something you love, something that you're willing to make your hobby, okay, so that you can get a leg up. You can have an advantage. You can stand apart from the rest. It has to be yours, okay? Nobody can tell you what to do. It has to be your choice. You need to focus on that. In the meantime, you have to know grammar. You have to know vocabulary, and you have to know how to read. So just come and join one of my classes here. And I have quite a few books. I don't know which one they're going to give away today, but I hope you enjoy it. People would ask me, well, do you have a reading list for the summer? Almost any one of these books. Well, this one here, this is the Advanced English. I can't see anything. Okay. And it's the vocabulary and the grammar. That's very useful. Okay. That's one of the fundamentals. I have 6 other books called Intro Ebo. Then I have a translation of Chinese poetry. Anyway, so I don't want to hold up Dr. Yoshida anymore. So if you have any questions, you can address them to the host here or just email me. Okay. Take care. Okay.
Okay, so next we have another student. He is from our counselor Daniel. He obtained early acceptance by Johns Hopkins University. I also heard that he was the recent national Chinese abacus champion. And I also heard that he would like to come back to help and give back a little bit to Harold and help us teach a little bit. Are you here, Jeremy Ko?
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Okay, you have the floor, Jeremy.
Okay. Hi, my name is Jeremy, and I'm a senior who will be going to Johns Hopkins in the fall to study biophysics. And I've worked for the past 6 months as a biology tutor for ShareWorld. Tutoring biology at ShareWorld has allowed me to keep my own knowledge fresh and to use my knowledge to help others. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity. And some of my extracurriculars include the Biology Olympiad, Science Bowl, Latin, Aviation, and soccer. So first off, I would like to thank Daniel, my college counselor from ShareWorld, who guided me through this whole process and helped me edit my Common App essay and my Hopkins supplemental. Without Daniel's help, I would have been very lost in the college application process and honestly a lot more stressed out. So even though I'm just a high schooler, I'd like to give some pieces of advice. For current 9th and 10th graders, my advice is to forget about college applications. I know, it sounds counterintuitive. Of course, keeping your grades up is always the priority, but now is the best time to try new things, trust me. Get involved in clubs, try new classes, and meet new people. Do what you like doing, and by the time college apps roll around in a few years, you will have plenty of things to put on your extracurricular list. If you don't know what you like doing, then now is the best time to find out. If you try 5 different things, chances are that at least one of them will stick. And that's the one that you can end up putting on your college apps in a few years. If you're going to be doing something for 4 years, it'll be a lot more fun and you'll have a lot more success doing something you enjoy. One of my biggest personal regrets in high school is being too close-minded to try new things. So I made that a goal for my second semester senior year to try a lot more new things. For current 11th graders who are going to apply to college in a few months, college applications are right around the corner. Get to know the people who are writing your rec letters, like your teachers or your college counselors. Rec letters can do a lot in helping your college application by adding a lot of flavor to your application. And make sure to take your ACT or SAT if you haven't already. Over the summer, try brainstorming ideas for your Common App essay and a few of your supplemental essays, and try maybe getting a first draft on paper. Remember, the more work you get done over the summer, the less there is to do during the school year. And once the school year starts, keep track of which deadlines are approaching and make sure you can finish those essays first. Putting tougher schools like MIT into early action reduces the work you'll have to do in the regular decision round. Plus, getting some acceptances early can reduce a lot of the pressure later on. I like to think of working on my essays as an investment. If I do an hour of work on my essays now, that's one less hour of work I'll have to do on them later. And some examples of this idea is that some of my classmates finished all their essays before winter break and therefore could fully relax during the break. Still, even no matter how well you plan things, burnout will hit you eventually. So if you lose all motivation to work, that's okay. You can just take a day off to do other things and reset yourself. Just remember, once you turn in your last app, you will be a second semester senior, which means you get to fully enjoy second semester senior. So some advice for parents, please don't put too much pressure on your kids. Of course, you should help your kids with things like building a college list and choosing a college counselor. But ultimately, your kid is the one in the driver's seat, and their decision should be the final call. I've seen a lot of examples of parents being too controlling in the college application process. And sometimes this can lead to the kid being unhappy or the kid not putting their full effort into the application. Even though second semester senior year seems very far away, if you're a junior, you're nearing the end of your time in high school. So cherish your remaining time with your friends and family. Even though college apps may seem like it, they're not the end of the world. Whatever happens in the college app process, you'll end up somewhere you belong. And over the next few months, I promise you that you will learn a lot about yourself and you will grow the most you've ever grown in your life. So good luck to everyone who's applying to college in the next few years, and hopefully you will be happy with your results and you'll be somewhere you want. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Jeremy. So next we have a teacher who will talk to us a little bit about the college essay. Her name is Jessica Liu. She studied at Columbia University, and she has a liberal art major, psychology major, the Harvard University Extension. And let's welcome Jessica Liu.
Hi, everyone. So nice to be here. Glad I could join you guys. Hopefully my internet connection stays stable enough for the duration of this. But I will say a lot of kind of what I wanted to cover has been spoken about by Ryota and Jeremy and Jai. So, you know, a little bit of repetition there, so bear with me, but I'll be fast. But yeah, I will talk a little bit on not only the, oops, sorry, hold on. That's not what I wanted. Okay. We're just gonna go with that for now because it won't share for some reason. So a little bit about Columbia University majors as well, in addition to writing the college essay. This is specific to Columbia, so it won't apply to Johns Hopkins or Stanford, just because Columbia is really well known for their core curriculum. That's something that they really pride themselves on. It's something that they'll advocate for. You'll hear a lot about. And I think for people like such as myself that really were really indecisive about figuring out what their major was, it's really helpful to have that kind of that foundation. So at Columbia, our top majors are computer science, economics, political science, psychology, and social sciences. I think across the board for a lot of colleges, that's a pretty similar statistic. That said, there are more than 100 different majors available at the school. On top of that, there's also different concentrations you can take. So it's really just so exciting being able to be at an institution where there are so many offerings available. So as far as how the core curriculum supports that, for those of you that are not familiar with the core curriculum, it is a range of interdisciplinary options, courses, joint programs that such as art humanities, contemporary civilizations, science, literature and humanities, music humanities, global core, foreign language. All of these combined comprise a core curriculum. And it's a great way to really allow yourself and give yourself that space to explore. I say allow yourself, granted, it is a necessary part of your graduation requirements. But that said, yeah, I think especially for people that are really interested in multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary approaches to different subjects, this really gives you the space to do that. And then for students that are undecided, this gives you the space to try different things and figure that out. And then I think the biggest point that I want to make at the end of the day as well is your major does not at all dictate your career. If we look at statistics for business schools, medical schools, and law school, for example, you don't necessarily have to study a subject within, what is commonly associated with those fields and industries in order to go to those schools. For example, one of the most popular for law school would be philosophy or economics. And so it's less so about, it's more so about what you as an individual, you as a student are really interested in, delve deep, use this opportunity as a student in college to really pursue those interests and explore. And then from there, just from purely that interest in itself, you're going to be able to create a lot of impact, a lot of change within whatever industry and field that you pursue in the future. So moving on now to the college essay. I'm sure, everyone's kind of seen this already at some point about when they open, when early decision, regular decisions are due, or for the UC application, just when it closes in general. What I want to say is, especially with the different reaches, the target schools, the safety schools, every essay adds up. So 250 words might not seem like much, but if it's 1 to 3 of those per school, and you're applying to 6 different schools, at least 6, that's a lot of words. And that's also a lot of time. And I know John Ryota already mentioned it, but especially considering that a lot of schools aren't necessarily looking at test scores as much these days, you really, really want to use this college essay as an opportunity to talk about yourself and showcase yourself as an individual and really explain why you are going to add to the community there and be an asset to the school, why they want you just as much as you want to go there. In terms of kind of some writing tips, definitely don't wait. Jeremy mentioned it. I think he really laid it out perfectly. You really want to get it done as soon as you can, so that way you can relax for your senior year. Applications open up in August. Of course, a lot of the time the essays are pretty much similar, the same, especially UCs, you have your 8 personal insight questions, but those are pretty much repeated every year. And so you can always get a head start so that by the time senior year starts, you're at a really solid space where you're purely just looking at revisions at that point. And so you're really taking advantage of that time to just hone in on those final semester of grades, and then really just enjoying and relaxing and not cramming till a week before things are due to start writing or finishing up and sending it in, because that is the last thing that you want for yourself. Another big reason for that as well is you have thousands and thousands and thousands of applicants applying every year to these schools, and just a small number of admissions officers. They get tired as well. And the more essays they see, the less likely they are able to kind of take in, focus on you as the individual. And so it actually also adds that added benefit of you being one of the first few out of that pool that is going to stick out to them. And they're not so much worried about how many people or, all these other qualities that now they're comparing you to, because you're setting that foundation, you're setting that bar for them. And so definitely, if anything, this is one of the biggest things that I would recommend. And then, of course, like what other students have said, write about something that's important to you. And not only that, reflect on it, reflect on its impact, reflect on why it's important. I think I've seen with a couple of students, it's very easy to talk about what they did, but taking that step further and talking about the significance and the personal interaction and impact, and then also greater impact on the community as well, or impact on future aspirations, that's the part where students tend to have a little bit of a trickier time with. And so that's something that you want to chew on and do a little bit of self-reflection, go on a walk or maybe talk to your parents, talk to your friends, and really ask yourself, why do I want to do this truly, and what are my motivations? And while doing that, make sure you use specific details and examples. Make sure you use, try to use events from that you've experienced. And so with that said, because we know that a lot of these essays are really focused on, there's going to be essays that are focused on community impact, essays that are focused on, why you want to do this specific subject. This is a good way to make sure that you set yourself up for success, especially if you are a younger student that is, 9th, 10th grade. Pursue activities, engage in extracurriculars that are able to provide that kind of material for you to feed off of for your essay when it comes time to write them. It's going to make your life a lot easier. And it's also just going to bolster you as a candidate in general. But when it comes to the essay, yeah, when you have real life events to draw from that and you can reflect on, that's going to make things a lot more concrete and true to who you are and true to the advisor. It's not just like aspirations and wants. The admissions officer can see clearly that, like, not only is this something you want, but this is actually something that you have taken steps to pursue. Avoid cliches. But that said, if you are going to write a quote unquote cliche story, and for those, I mean, writing about, playing an instrument or playing sports, frame it in a way that is unique. So for example, say you are a cellist, talk about how your interaction with the instrument fed into, for example, your understanding of neuroscience, your understanding of maybe multiple intelligences. You add this specific lens over something that is maybe something that admissions officers commonly see in essays, but with a twist such that it's not only related to your personal interests or your academic interests. Say you're going to pursue a major in neuroscience, for example. This is a great way to kind of connect all these different things in your life, in your passions, and display them in a way that is truly different from, I think, a lot of the other essays that the officers are going to see as they go through the whole application process or the admissions process. And then, of course, keep the focus on you. I think it's very easy, especially when you have done a lot of stuff, that you go through and describe what you did and forget that you're really trying to showcase yourself as a person, your personality, which kind of goes into my second point here, showcase your personality and what makes you interesting and unique. You want to be able to incorporate your own voice into that story. And I really do emphasize that story aspect as well, which is what Jai mentioned. You really want to add that quirkiness if you can, Humor, if you're able to. I think humor is maybe a little bit tougher of a line to walk. Sometimes you never know your audience. So, but it's ways to make you stand out, ways for them to understand you, so that you're not just a number, you're not just kind of a name, that you can be seen as a whole person. And then, of course, supplements, you want to explain why you want to do your research. Whether that is looking on the website or take it even a step further, go to the school and talk to students themselves there. Ask them why when you go for your college visits, ask them, why do you enjoy the school? Why did you go here? What's your favorite part? What would you build upon it? What would you improve? Really show, this is an opportunity for you to demonstrate to the school that you're committed to attending that school. And I think a big part of that is to do with kind of matriculation yield rates. Because if they see that this is somebody that has put in the work and is truly interested in not only the school, not because of its prestige, but because of its specific programs, professors, extracurricular offerings and research opportunities, then they're going to be like, okay, if we accept them, that's going to be great for us and great for them as well, or the student as well. And so you really want to do your research, talk about the specific reasons why you enjoy such and such school. And then, of course, on top of that, relate that back to yourself. Again, you always want to relate that back to yourself. Keep the focus on you. And then my last point is writing truly is the art of revision. Nobody just sits down and just in one go writes a perfect story, perfect application, perfect essay, right? It's multiple iterations. This goes back to starting early. And then, of course, this comes to ShareWorld as well, in that we're here as a resource to give you that extra set of eyes, to give you that guidance, to give you the feedback so that you can continue this art of revision, the process of revision, to build that essay for yourself so that you can truly showcase all the things that you have to offer, all the amazing things that and all the hard work that you put in, the past 5-6 years. And you don't want to discount yourself that by not really dedicating the time to that process, because this truly is especially nowadays, one of the more important facets of your application. Yeah, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Jessica, for helping me unmute, for your important insight on Columbia and your invaluable experience in helping students editing essays. Okay, so next we'll have our head counselor, Dr. Yoshida, talk a little bit about high school and summer camps. Dr. Yoshida has helped us for, I think, exactly 20 years now today, right? 2003. She has helped hundreds of students get into Ivy League schools, their dream schools. And I think a lot of things she says is very, very useful. But today she'll talk to us about high school camps and college planning strategies. Let's welcome Dr. Yoshida.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, hi everybody. Thank you for sharing your weekend afternoon with us. I'm Mayumi Yoshida. I have been the counselor here for over 20 years. I came to ShareWorld when my daughter, who was going into the first grade, needed some extra help with the Chinese after school. And that's how I got connected here. I'm a UC Berkeley graduate, and I've been helping students here for 9th grade to 12th grade. Sometimes those students do come back. I'm very thankful for them, for their trust, come back to apply for graduate school as well. So today I know that the audience, your age level varies. So I'll cover a lot of things. And if you have any questions, we have question and answer sessions, and you can always direct the questions to ShareWorld, and I'll try to answer as soon as possible. Let me do the screen sharing. I think I'm disabled though.
Give me a second. Let me check. Here we go.
Let me check,
Sure,
try
sure.
again. Yeah.
Give it a try again.
먼저 줄게입니다.
Okay, can you see the screen?
Perfect. Yes.
是这一个部分呢？
Can you see?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, great, great. Oh, okay. It doesn't become a full screen for some reason, but if this is okay, I'll just go ahead and start with this one. So, as everybody has been saying, SAT still matters because they're coming back to SAT again, and those colleges that are very, very popular among our students, MIT, Georgia Tech, UIUC, Purdue, 100% of my students, STEM students applied to all these except for MIT, and those schools do require. And schools that are optional doesn't mean you don't have to submit it. It means if submitted, your score will be considered as one of the factors. So of course, if you have high scores, that is going to work to your advantage. And I have recently spoke to one of the professors who's related into the admissions process at a very top universities. And this person said, yes, SAT is a standardized test, and on that particular test day, everybody all over the United States takes this test. And so this result means a lot. So we will still want you to take SAT, and because it verifies your academic aptitude on a national standard. So that means SAT covers algebra 2, trigonometry, and so your math level is going to matter a lot. So the course levels, if you're going for STEM majors, which is a very competitive major, particularly from the Silicon Valley student, and if you want to go into engineering, you need to have pre-calculus or above completed when you apply to college, which means by the end of 11th grade, you would like to have this completed. And you need a recommendation address from math teachers above that level, which means you really would like to start your 9th grade with Algebra 2. If you are in other STEM subjects, no matter which, if you go into chemistry major, biology major, chemistry and physics are the real subject of science, because it's biology. However, chem and physics involves a certain level of mathematics. Therefore, colleges put a little bit more value on chemistry and physics, and they would like to see honors and AP levels included in your curriculum. And if you are in humanities, you're going to do humanities majors. For example, I want to be a lawyer, so I'm going to do political science, or I want to go into psychology. Then you would like to include intercultural or diversity-focused courses. If it is not offered at your school, it's always easy to add it from your college, community college. So if you want to be a competitive candidate, I would like to see you have supplementary courses in addition to what you have from your high school. You can do it through online high school courses, community college classes. You can take summer pre-college classes that gives you credit. Or if you are a little bit concerned that, or I'm not sure if I take this full loaded course, I'm going to get an A, because then the GPA is going to affect you. If that is the case, you can take an online certificate-based course like Coursera courses, EDX courses. I myself take courses from EDX and Coursera, and I enjoy it. And add it to your profile. It won't add to your GPAs like the other 3 classes. However, it still shows that you have gone above and beyond your high school. So I highly recommend you to do this. And in order to include all these things and integrate them into your busy curriculum, you need to have your 4-year coursework plan ahead of the time. Of course, you can make adjustment as you go along, but it is important that you have some idea where you are going, and so that you can include advanced courses in your area of interest. And on top of that, you can still demonstrate your intellectual exploration like Jai was going into different areas. adding classes to satisfy his intellectual desire. And you still have to balance STEM and humanities, even if you're going to be a STEM major, even if you're going to be a humanities major, because no matter what you do, mathematics and English, like Mr. Johnson says, or Jessica said, English and mathematics are the very main core subject. And I would like to see those going into AP levels, regardless of what your major is going to be in college, because it shows your aptitude for college level education. Now, college majors are changing, and there are new opportunities offered at UCs. Haas is going to start taking students directly into the business program for next year, starting next year. The current 11th graders go directly into Haas major. Aerospace engineering has been added to UC Berkeley, and aerospace engineering is getting a more popular major. For this, you need very strong physics and mathematics foundations. Data science was added at UC Davis this year. Robotics engineering at UC Riverside. Robotics, yes, again, you have to know a lot of physics, electrical engineering. Global and community health was added at UC Santa Cruz. Game design and interactive media. This was renamed from the old computer science program, but such thing does exist at Irvine. So there are many different choices now you can make even within the UC systems. And on the UC application, it's one application. You click the colleges, campuses you want to apply, and then each campus shows you slightly different choices for your majors. So I would like you to get started on this early. If you are current juniors, UC application opens August 1st. But before that time, go into each UC campus, check the majors so that your summer activities can be aligned for the majors you're going to target at to increase your chances, because engineering is, STEM majors are very, very competitive. Okay, let's go to the next one. So narrowing down your target. All right, let's say you're going to go into computer science. So generally your interest lies in that area. Computer science has BA degree, Bachelor of Art degree, and BS degree, Bachelor of Science degree. Bachelor of Science degree is offered by the School of Engineering. BA degree is offered by School of Liberal Arts and Sciences. The acceptance rate in some cases differs a lot, and you have to see if you want to do, well, I'm mostly interested in software engineering, so it's okay for me to go to BA. Or you may say, I'm more interested in cybersecurity, I want to go for BS. That's where you need to decide. Computer engineering is slightly different from computer science. There is more hardware. There is also a major that combines them both, as computer science and engineering. The famous EECS at UC Berkeley is like that. And there's independent electrical engineering major. Again, your physics has to be very strong for this. And there's computer science with specialization in bioinformatics at UC San Diego. For bioinformatics, I'd like to see you completed AP biology. That's a very important subject there. And there's software engineering, network and digital technology major, CS specifically on computer game design. So even within the big blanket of computer science, there are those differences, and your coursework and your activities, particularly the summer camp, should be catered to support your interest. So if you're generally, it's okay for 9th graders, 10th graders not knowing it yet, but if you're junior, you really have to come down to this narrowing the target area. Biology, again, is a very popular field, and biology also has many different branches of biologies, and each UC campus offers different branches, and even outside of UCs, other colleges have those different ones. Regular human biology, just general biology, genetics and plant biology, molecular and cell biology. If you want to go into these two, and if you want to go, if your goal later is to go to medical school. You really want to get into genetics and plant biology or molecular and cell biology. Those two, I hope that you can do some kind of research experience during the summer. There's also computational and system biology, which requires you to know basic computer science and programming. There's neurobiology, microbiology, bioinformatics, marine biology. Biology can be very widely branched out. You just need to find what fits your interest and what fits your background and interest and activities. So that's why summer activities becomes very important, because you have to make yourself stand out. And in order to make that happen, you have to kind of like dig deeper and narrow down and find your own niche. And that's why we were here, to sit down with you to discuss and find your own niche and make you stand out in there. So major selection is extremely important, and that needs to get done by the end of 11th grade. You can still explore as a 9th grader, still explore a bit more as a 10th grader, but as 11th grade, junior going into senior, you should have a path made. You can always change it once you get into college, but first of all, you have to get into college, and it is competitive. So we need to think about the major selection, and also EA, early action, ED, early decision, and rolling admissions, they do matter. Almost everybody does EAs to certain schools, and if you're late in doing that, you're already late in the game. The train has already passed. So make sure that you have enough time to prepare 3 or 4 early action schools to be completed. That means you should have all these done before your school begins in late August. Early decision increases your chance of acceptance significantly in some cases, but it is binding. You have to go to that school once you're accepted, so you lose opportunities to get into any other colleges. But if there is one such school that you would really like to go, early decision is a good choice for you. Rolling admission is first come, first serve. That doesn't mean you can wait until the end of the admission period. Get it done as soon as possible, because when you submit, press the submit button, and then you're stamped, time stamped. That timestamp could make a slight difference when there are too many applicants. Okay? And there's always the regular decision. UC only has regular decisions. Cal State only has regular decisions. Still, you would like to get it done as soon as possible so that you can focus on your 12th grade coursework. So plan your major ahead of the time. I always bump into this very bad scenario every year where UC application has been open since August 1st. You can check all these majors, you can click all these majors, but there's always a group of students at the very end in November, still not sure, or changing their majors or changing their ideas. That would affect your essays, because your essays should reflect your main interest. And you don't want to be doing that at the last minute, because you're busy, you're getting pressured, and we here at ShareWorld, we have a great team of editors, but we need to make plans. And when you are not sure, changing your mind there, we cannot really help you to the best of our abilities. Okay? So summer is coming, and it's a time to enhance your profile with all the activities as related to, either related to what you intend to major in college or to explore your interest. So for whatever college you're applying to, good GPA, AP test scores, and SAT, those are only the baselines. That's about 70% to 80% of your application. The other remaining 20%, 30% depends on what you have accomplished. So when colleges evaluate you and see your profile, they would like to see your potential. How have you been pursuing your intellectual interest, and what kind of potentials do you have as somebody who will succeed as somebody who can take the full advantage of the resources we offer at this college. They would like to see the potentials through your activities and what values you can bring to our college, whether it's a cultural value, academic contributions. They want to make sure that you are the type of person who just don't sit there, come to class, go back home, do your homework, and call it complete. They want you to be somebody who can take initiatives, who can explore, who can take advantage of everything the college can offer to you. And you need to show that. You need a proof of it. And the only way to prove it is through your activities and through your own initiatives and through your own profile. That's why summer activities are very important, because summer is the time to go deep into one field. And so why do I have to have so many different summer activities? Or why do I have to do research? Why do I have to complete a project? At the end of the day, what you would like to do is you won't have an answer for this question. Why did you choose your first choice major? What did you do to learn more about it? This is actually a college essay asked by many different colleges. And you have to be able to answer it. You cannot just simply say, well, computer science is can be very creative, very interesting. I can always get a job. That's why I want to do computer science. That is not going to be convincing enough. Or they may ask questions, how would you pursue your academic goal at our institution? Okay, here's Cornell universities with all these professors, all these research institute, and all these opportunities for undergraduate to get involved in top-notch research. So how are you going to use our resources? You cannot just say, oh, X university has robotics research institute, and I want to be part of it. That's just not convincing enough. What kind of robot do you want to make, and why do you want to do that? And what kind of basic knowledge do you have already to make us feel convinced that you know what you want to do? Now, I get lots of questions from parents like, how do you expect a 16-year-old, 17-year-old to really know about it? That's true. But 16-year-old, 17-year-old can always go to the website of a certain college or make a time to visit the college and have a tour and get to know more about the college and create a statement of all these resources I saw. This is what sparked my interest, and this is what I would like to do. So you have to be able to present yourself convincingly by having that kind of story. Okay? So you have to have your interest, and you have to have a college where you can nurture your interest and get to your career goal. That career goal may change later when you get into college, but that's okay. What you need to do at the end of 11th grade is just to say that I have done my best to take all these classes and did my best to get this grade. And I got involved in X number of activities that sparked my interest. This is what I have accomplished. And based on this, this is why I think I myself is suited for your institution, and I think I qualify. That's the convincing essay. And you want to do all these activities to get yourself to that position. So there are many things you can do during the summer. And one thing I would like you to know is some students, some parents have this misconception that I went to Harvard. Well, I should go to the Harvard summer opportunities because it's Harvard. It's good. Or I should go to the Stanford ones because it's Stanford. Just because the college is prestigious, you need to go. That doesn't mean that you get advantage by going to a prestigious camp. If the prestigious camp is, yes, indeed, competitive, like Stanford, SUMAC, Mass Camp, yes, it means a lot. But otherwise, do what interests you. It doesn't have to be at Harvard. It doesn't have to be at Stanford. It doesn't have to be at UPenn. You can even take the college course if that course indeed satisfies your interest. So summer, when you do the summer planning, you have to think of your first budget is very important. Some summer camp is very, very expensive, and you have to make sure that it is worth that cost, or there are other opportunities that is more meant for you and to pursue your interest. Okay, so that's the main summer activity. In addition to that, during the summer, you need to have academic enrichment to boost your GPA, because always next year you're going to have more APs than the previous year. The coursework is going to get more competitive and more rigorous. Prepare for it. You need to prepare for SAT or ACT. And then this is also important for 10th graders, 11th graders, because regardless of when you are taking SAT or ACT, you have pre-SAT coming in October. And again, this same admissions related person I talked to the other day, who was talking about the importance of SAT, did also say, yes, we would like to see student higher scoring in pre-SAT, possibly qualifying for the National Merit Scholarship. That would give you a great advantage to get into good colleges. So that is an important plan for the summer. And during the summer, we need to add more community service hours. And it's not just because I did X number of community service hours. You have to do something that you're interested in. And you can say, I helped with the homeless shelters because I'm very concerned about this prevailing issue in our areas. That sort of community concern is also one of the very popular topics for college essays these days. And if you're not taking leadership at school, you like to take leadership during the summer, such as being a camp counselor. There are many camps that you can become a counselor. City of Sunnyvale, City of Cupertino, they all have summer camps. And I always explore those opportunities with my students. So academic enrichment for regular coursework, preparations for your testing, community service, taking leadership, and digging deeper into the specific area of your interest. Those are the things you need to do during the summer. So your summer is going to be busy. So this I already talked about what values your summer camp can add. So it will expose you to a new intellectual environment. You go deep into one field, or you can always add something new to expand your intellectual horizons, demonstrate your passions, going above and beyond schoolwork. So summer camps and summer opportunities always add quite a bit of value to your profile. Okay. In addition, yes, you can take a leadership as a camp leader. You can show intercultural and diversity experience. This is also another factors colleges look at very heavily these days. So many students go to mission trips, either locally or globally. And I think it is good to do it for 1 week or 2 weeks because it exposes you to a completely different environment, and that experience is valued. And if you cannot find any of those opportunities, you can always get a job. Work experience is a completely different experience from regular high school career, and that is also very much valued. Okay. So, as you plan all these things and you plan your high school regular courseworks, you need to navigate your path. That is why we are here, to listen to you and make a plan. You always need to have a plan A and plan B to fall back. Not necessarily you get lucky where everything goes the way you plan. You always need a plan B. And like all the students said, do what you're interested in. Don't do it because somebody else is doing it, your peers are doing it, because that somebody else told you to do it. You do what you're interested in. Otherwise, you won't be able to continue. Otherwise, you don't get a good experience from it. And as you make a summer plan, have a buffer time, meaning don't fill your summer with everything from beginning to the end, with no time to relax, no time to breathe. Because cramming the summer plan, you get burned out. And when the big semester begins, you really are tired. I had a few students like that who wanted to do so many things during the summer, 2 or 3 summer, very intensive summer camps. And by the time semester begins, you're burned out. And I don't want that to happen. You still need to enjoy your high school life. Going to college is just a passing period in your life to get to what you want to go. Beyond that, and you need to enjoy your high school life. Otherwise, your life is not going to be enjoyable later. Communicate with your parents well. Okay? Talking to adults is very important. And with your parents, have dinner, talk about politics, talk about new science inventions, hear what they need to say about their jobs. This is also very important. Students who have very good relationships with their parents would succeed later more in life. So I would like you to, and also from a parent's perspective, as a parent of 2 kids, the time we spend with the children is too short. 17 years, they're off on their own. And that's a very short period of time from 80 years of life, 90 years of life. Enjoy your time with your parents. Okay? And have your eyes open to the bigger world. Don't be too crammed about, I got to do this, I got to do this. How am I compete with other students? You are your own. You have your own life, and make your plan to work out for you. And if you don't know where to start, or if you feel like you're overpressured, always come to us and we'll make a better plan for you. Okay, so that's all for me today. And if I have any questions, I can take it.
We have one question, but we only have time for one question because we're really over time now. So Dr. Yoshida, the question is, if students are interested in applying for a medical or nursing related major, could Dr. Yoshida maybe recommend what they could do for the summer program?
Yes, nurse medical, I think you need to go to, there are many medicine pre-med camps offered in this area. So you should go into it, and you have to, the most important thing is you have to know why you want to do medicine. Because many students say, I want to help people. Helping people doesn't have to be true medicine, right? So you have to have a good reason for it. And you have to know that medical school is a very long path. So get yourself into some kind of research experience, biomedical research experience, to know what you're getting yourself into and what you can expect. For nursing student, do a lot of community service, expose yourself to different type of people, such as working in the senior citizen homes, or maybe even helping homeless people. Whatever you do in the community would add more values. And nursing students, I would like to see clinical experience, volunteering at hospitals or serving doctors. That clinical experience is very important.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Yoshida, for your insight. So if you haven't started yet with college planning or figure out your interests, it's not too late. If you'd like a consultation from Dr. Yoshida or any of our counselors, we welcome you to call us or email us. The hours for the counselors are often very booked. So send your email request ASAP. Consultation will be prioritized on an availability basis. So if you have any more questions later, you're welcome to call us, email us. Best of all, come on site to find us. Our staff is always really willing to help. Mental health is very important to us also. And although college application and the road to college can be stressful, but with the right guidance and together with our 30 years of experience, I'm sure that we can very much help reach for the dream results that was meant for you. So I know that although our seminar is in person, our principal would love for everybody to take a quick picture, turn on their camera for a moment, so we can pretend we were all together in one room for a moment.
Thank you, all staff. Thank you, parents and students. 30 years long support. Thank
Okay.
you.